Ghana Maritime Authority, again, I'm coming to you for your thoughts on coronavirus and how we're dealing with it. I mean, this is certainly a great project there. The people, I'm getting some messages here as well of how helpful it will be. We're looking at the number of people who are dying from coronavirus across the world, but we also know that right here on this river, several people have died. And so it's certainly a good area to look at. But it is the messages that I'm getting today points to the fact that people are concerned. They think we're focusing too much on Kotoka International Airport. What role does the Ghana Maritime Authority play as far as protecting, our entry?
The object for setting up the authority is to regulate, monitor and coordinate activities within the maritime industry. So apart from the Kotoka International Airport, which you mentioned, the sea is another route through which people enter.
Yeah, which is why I'm raising this with you.
Yes, so together with Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, we have a role to play. We have issued a circular to our port state control officers, to ensure that certain protocols are observed before they get onto any ship.
Okay.
Yes, because you never know who you are going to get into contact with. Because it is mandatory upon our port state control officers to inspect ships as they enter this country. And in the performance of that duty, they definitely will come into contact with these foreign seafarers who have come ashore. So some protocols have been given out by way of a circular to them to observe them. Before I came here, I was also reliably informed by the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority that they are also coming out with a circular which will be out before the close of this evening. So together, yes, efforts are being made to ensure that we minimize the tendency of people bringing this virus into our country through our ports.
So through the ports, typically, how does it happen when the people come? So I know that people come, with their wares, through the port. Usually, what happens and how is that changing with the new protocols that you described?
Well, you see, apart from the wares that the goods that the ships will bring, there are crew on board.
Yeah.
And they will disembark for the period that these ships are within our ports.
Okay.
And that is where the danger lies. So ours is to ensure that they are screened properly at the various entry points before they come into contact with any of our people. And apart from that, as I indicated, the port state control officers have some duties they ought to perform as far as the ships themselves are concerned. The figures does not for now show that there's been a decrease in the volume of traffic. That cannot be said for now.
From that area?
From that area. Okay. It cannot be said for now. But we can't tell in the next 2 weeks or so what will happen.
Typically, where are these ships coming from?
All over the world. Countries across the world, some from the sub-region, some from Europe and the Americas, they come.
Okay, but with the president's announcement about, restricting traveling, you said that we have not seen, the numbers don't show any reduction in the number of,
in terms of ships that are bringing the goods.
That are coming.
Yes.
Okay, that are bringing
but you know that we don't have cruiser ships calling here with passengers.
Right.
But we have these ships that carry goods. So what you have to deal with now are the crew on board these ships.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm saying that we are alerting our port state control officers to ensure that certain protocols are observed. Yes.
What is the Ghana Maritime Authority's understanding of the President's directive as far as not allowing, certain travel, discouraging certain travel? Is it happening? How is it playing out in your area?
Yeah, for us, most of our meetings are international in character. I was supposed to be in London from today to the 20th and then towards the end of the month again. But because of the ban on travel by officials, and again, by virtue of the fact that even before the president said this, the headquarters of our organization, that is the International Maritime Organization, had also taken some preemptive steps by suspending some of those meetings.
Okay.
So yes, it's had an impact as far as our activities are concerned.
Are you not doing video conference meetings? And
that is certainly perhaps the way to go, especially for the convenience. I'm sure that will be the way to go.
Okay.
Yes.
But then the ships coming from these countries, so if a ship is coming from China, looking at the number, they say over 200, a country that has recorded over 200 cases, we're not allowing, encouraging the travel. Are these ships coming from such areas?
Obviously, you would have a ship. You have ships coming from China, definitely. There will be ships coming from China. As I said, we have ships coming from across the world.
They're not banned from coming
for
in?
Now,
for now?
Apart from the crew on board, the goods, nobody has said we should stop goods from entering our country. Okay. And you would have some of those, you have these ships having crew. I don't think, if we perform, what I think is that if we perform our duties responsibly by ensuring that they are properly screened, they will not be the route or avenue through which coronavirus is imported.
Unfortunately, I've run out of time, but there's just a quick question that's just coming in that someone is curious about the economic value of the tree stumps. Is there any economic value?
An assessment will be done. The previous ones we did, what we did was that as part of our corporate social responsibility, they were given shared amount the communities from where they were removed. But a decision has not yet been taken on this one.
The 10,000?
Yes, the 10,400. We would assess them economically, and if we think that it makes sense to do something else other than giving them out to the community, I'm sure we'll choose.
Can they sell it? I mean, is it like, it looks like timber, so they can work on it?
Yes.
So,
yes, but as I said, we are yet to assess them to see whether it makes sense to find a company that may be interested in them to go for them.
This is certainly a project that's still ongoing.
It is.
I'm sure
this particular one is finished, but we look forward to
other areas.
More if our financial muscle
I'm sure that we'll perhaps have the opportunity to bring you back here again, so we'll have a talk about it again.
We are always willing to come.
Thank you very much for coming. The Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority has been my special guest for today, Thomas Alonsi.